things that I didn't pick up from my pull list this week, but I've really been wanting to do some back issue hunting. I've got a couple of goals of what I'm trying to work on with my collection, but also like I haven't checked the dollar bins in a really long time, and so I just kind of want to flip through and see what I find. And then I am also going to do the little extra sprint of go out to the next town over. There's a little comic book shop there. I just read Batman Court of Owls, like volume 1 of that situation, and I kind of am looking for the DC compact version of it because I don't want to go buy the other trades, but I do want to finish out that story. So I do have my eye out for that specifically. Today's haul was slightly mighty, I might say. I've gotten into such a habit of just going in, grabbing my pull list, and honestly, if it's like a really skinny week, sometimes I'm waiting until the next week, and sometimes I'm just not going on Wednesdays. I'm fully enjoying the reading aspect of this hobby, but I'm not making the time to like do the collecting aspect, which I love just as much. So it was so fun today to spend a couple of hours doing exactly that. I found a really good combination of things that will continue the reading journeys I'm on, continue my collection journeys that I'm on, and then also new things that I've either been meaning to pick up or just found a curiosity in. So let's do a little haul of the 3-stop comic shopping that I did today. First up, when I say that I've been meaning to pick this up for the longest time ever, I'm being truthful, but it did take me a long time. That's Grommets. We've got this by Rick Remender and Brian Posen. I love Rick Remender, and I also just love the vibe of like a group of kids doing their thing. Like I like Paper Girls. It's very like Stranger Things season 1, right? Like I think this is cool. I love the sport of skateboarding. I think obviously just the art stands out to me on this. And then the fact that this is like a complete story is going to be such a good change of pace because I've been reading so much single issue superheroes. I can't wait to dive into this one, and I'm really, really glad that I found it. One of the things that I knew I wanted to grab today, and I'm so glad that they had it, was The Seasons Volume 1. This is a gift for a friend. Her birthday's coming up. She likes comics, but she mostly reads them through the library, so I know she hasn't gotten her hands on this like very current thing. And this is just in time for the next installment of single issues to start coming out. So I'm kind of hoping that I can selfishly convert my friend to using the local comic book shop, and I think The Seasons just might do that for me. So very excited to gift this one and pass it along. If you are somehow watching this video but you haven't read this, just like honestly skip the video and go find this. I did pick up my pull list from the week. So we've got The Amazing Spider-Man number 21. We're getting really close to that 1000. This is Legacy 985. We've been on quite a long outer space arc, and I think maybe we return to New York City in this one, which I'm ready for that. And I am just itching to get to 1000 because what the hell, that's gonna be such a crazy thing to be here for. Next up on my pull list, I feel ridiculous pulling Endgame because I haven't read the Ultimates yet, but I know that when I read the Ultimates I'm gonna want to have this, and I want it in that single issue format because of that's how I've been collecting the Ultimate Spider-Mans. So Ultimates issue number 2. They set out the Spider Witch special because I had been pulling Bug Wars. Here's the thing. Incoming unpopular opinion. I love the art. I love the world. I love the like dialogue and the writing in Bug Wars, but I just don't find myself caring that much about our main character. And so I was going to drop it. I finished out that first arc, but I don't think I'm gonna pull it when it resumes. And that hinges on this. That hinges on this little one-shot kind of situation. I'm very excited though, because I do love the art and I think the world is so unique and so well done. So I'm gonna give this a chance, and I intend to keep reading Bug Wars. I just think I'm gonna like kind of trade weight it rather than read it single issue at a time. And then this year I'm trying to be so much more intentional about how I'm collecting my back issues. Specifically when it comes to Spectacular Spider-Man, I know that I need to be filling in gaps, and that would just be the most sane way to go forward in collecting. So I grabbed issues 186 and 194 of the Spectacular Spider-Man. I know that both of these books close gaps individually in my collection on their own. Like I have what's before and after this and before and after this. But I will say that these covers are so cool that I think I would have just picked them up in the wild anyways if I saw them not knowing that. So strategic, but also absolutely sick. Then I left the LCS and I went to the next comic book shop, which is one town over. They have just a different turnover rate, and they're very much more focused on current stuff, but they're not as high trafficked. So if you missed something at the bigger comic book store, you have a good chance of finding it there. And then their turnover on their back issues seems to be a little bit faster too. Like they have a much smaller section of it, so it's way more manageable to just kind of like look through everything. So I took that opportunity to grab something that I'd kind of been recognizing here and there, but not in time to have grabbed issue 1. That is Good as Dead. I'm a huge Image fan, like I just read the most Image, and this seems like a small town kind of cop story and really reminded me of Revival, also Winona Earp. So there's something about that like combo. I think we've got a female main character here and then just small town drama. I'm really drawn to all of the cover art that I've seen for this, and this shop in particular had the whole thing. So I did restrain myself a little bit. I only grabbed issue 1, and if I like it, I will be back there so soon to grab the other ones because I don't want to let them go. But this is also kind of like a thicker format. Like it is almost like, it feels like a, I don't know how to describe it, but it is less of a magazine and more of like a handout. I don't know, like whatever. And they all seemed like that. So kind of interesting. I don't know what that is. Like just the paper on the cover is different, and I haven't seen that before. So kind of interesting. Next up, I went into their back issues and I found a very cool cover that I like of Rainbow Rowell's She-Hulk. I've read this series, I have it in trades, but she is one of my favorite characters. This is one of my favorite writers, and I think this would be such a cool like wall piece and just like art-wise, something that I want to have. I think I'm honestly gonna take it to work and put it in my desk because I would love to start turning people onto She-Hulk. I think Jen Walters is amazing, and I think that this like green on green on green on green cover is really cool. And 15 is a very nice number, so I think this is totally fine to just be possibly a one-off in my collection, but I do kind of always find myself checking the back issues for Rainbow Rowell's She-Hulks, and this just happened to be the first one that I decided was worth picking up completely out of sequence. Remember when I said I was going to be more strategic about my collecting? And then I realized I had gone to both of the local comic book shops and I hadn't gotten 2 of the things that were on my mission list when I started the day. So I headed over to Barnes & Noble. I wanted to grab the Ultimates. I can't find, like I keep striking out on finding volume 2, so I did what had to be done. And I would like to be able to just kind of like cruise through these. 3 is coming out really soon. I think I'm a little bit cooked on that plan with 4 is gonna be like so delayed, but it should be the end. So I need this in my life, and this makes me feel that much closer to getting to Endgame. And I also just can't wait to read Ultimate Spider-Man in its entirety, like in one go rather than month by month. I think it's gonna make me love that series even more. So I'm putting in the work now. Very recently read the first volume, so the first 7 issues of the Batman Court of Owls story, and I really enjoyed it. But I realized that it was going to be kind of hard to track down those other trades, And I also realized that a DC compact of the story existed, so I felt like spending the $10 on the compact to get $5 worth of the story that is new to me is a great way to do that. I've also just been itching to check out this like format of reading because I do like being able to read multiple issues in one go, and like you kind of can't argue with the price point of these, but I mean, it's $10 for a reason, and I'm just curious to see if there's any deal breakers about that. So if this is good, I've got my eye on that Supergirl compact. So there you have it. This is the haul for the day. I had fun with you. I had fun with my local comic shop workers, and I had fun just kind of driving around town and listening to my tunes. So I think this is a really good haul. This is gonna tide me over. I'm hitting a few slow months, and I'm really devastated that we're entering an era of like, I'm about to only be pulling one Spider-Man title. So this should keep me busy for a minute, and also lead me on to some new things to start enjoying.